Hi everyone, Sam Rathmeyer here with the Wednesday Night Wine Club. This is the red wine video for the January 2022 shipment. Let's get into it. All right, really excited about the red wine for this month. This is coming from a new producer, Rouanet. Thomas was given the vineyards, his grandfather handed everything off to him in 2013. He is a young kid, worked with his grandfather extensively in the vineyards. This is the 2020 Voltigeur. The grape variety in this is a grape called Carignan. Carignan's a little bit more on the obscure side as far as French varieties are concerned. It is typically seen as a blending variety, rather than maybe the more noble grapes like Syrah, Grenache, Mourvedre, which Carignan's all blended with, or Merlot, Cabernet Sauvignon. It is a prolific producer on the vine, so think Cabernet Sauvignon, just grows everywhere, easy to grow. This will produce 4 times as many grapes on the vine. This is also coming from a region called the Languedoc. Languedoc is in the southern part of France, just to the west of Provence. Really known for producing an ocean of innocuous, homogeneous wines. They're not very interesting. That has changed in the last 15 to 20 years, largely due to the fact that all of the wildly popular winemaking regions like Bordeaux, Loire Valley, Northern Rhone Valley, Burgundy, you name it, they're too famous, they're too expensive. It's kind of like wanting to start making wine in Napa Valley. If you're gonna buy property and plant a vineyard, you're spending millions and millions of dollars. In order to even get to the point where you can get a return on what you are producing, it's gonna take years. You need investors, it's a headache. Carignan, as long as it is made, or the viticulture, from the start of the year to just before you harvest, if your viticulture is great, you can make phenomenal wines. And that is something that Thomas' grandfather had in spades. He converted the vineyards in the 90s to organic, started composting, phenomenal, but the winemaking itself was kind of lackluster. So think of it in terms of a chef that is so fixated on his cookbook and he's so proud of the recipes themselves, but when you actually make the dish, it's like, I mean, this is okay. The menu reads great and it's super detailed and everything's explained and it's the highest quality ingredients that you can possibly find. Yeah, but the dish itself, maybe not so good. So Thomas comes in and completely changes everything and puts an emphasis on what the wine should actually taste like, which may seem like a weird concept, but within the wine world at large, especially when you get into, and don't get me started on this, but when you start talking about natural wine, you start fixating on how the wine is made, not actually if the wine tastes good. And I am a huge believer in that if a wine tastes good, you should drink it. And just like a lot of the other younger winemakers in the area, the results are incredible. He has about 5 hectares of vines, so very small. That's 12 and a half, 13 acres of vineyards. Carignan on its own, though, is one of my favorite grape varieties, especially when they're made like this. They exhibit notes of lavender and black pepper like Syrah. They have fruit notes like Grenache, but none of the weight that Grenache can have. So on the nose, I mentioned that lavender, that purple flower. There is the notes of pepper. This doesn't have that broad shoulder. It's not punching you in the face. This is an invitation. This is a wine that makes you sit up and go, oh my gosh, because it is so singular in its nose that I can't quite think, oh, it is Syrah or it is Grenache. It's a happy place wine. Okay, and now to taste. Oh man, this is so good. So totally that lavender, the pepper, but then notice too that it isn't aggressive. It's not overly tannic. The weight of this is that medium bodied. So talked about earlier, I've talked about before rather, that the weight of wine is like milk. Light-bodied wine is non-fat milk or skim milk, and full-bodied wine is whole milk. Dessert wines tend to be heavy whipping cream. So this is a medium-bodied wine. It has the acidity to stand up to roasted game meats or steak. This could stand up even to some roasted pork dishes. But then it also has the tannins, the structure, it's very soft. Remember, acid is what makes you salivate. Tannins act as almost, we talk about it as being grippy. Like it just kind of grips your mouth. This doesn't really have that. This is more gentle. It's, again, more approachable. This is easy to drink now. This is 2020. If you were to sit on this for 3 years, it would just continue to evolve and soften. I love these wines. I kind of mentioned it before, but anything off the grill is going to be spectacular. You could actually do something like pizza with this. If you were doing roast chicken with a ratatouille, this is your happy place. Also, this wine is going to benefit greatly from a little bit of a chill. Throw it in the fridge for about 25 to 30 minutes before you plan on drinking it. It's actually going to help the wine become more expressive. Let me know what you think about the wine in the comments. Let me know what you paired it with. I hope you enjoy it just as much as I do. Cheers.